A lot of people like things to be black and black and white can make for great clickbait, but life isn't black and white, and life isn't clickbait, guys. It's extremely nuanced, and so I hope that this video helps you understand a bit more of the nuances between what wholesaling real estate is. Now, don't get me wrong, not all wholesalers are great people. In fact, there's tons of bad actors, just like there's tons of bad actors in every corner of the real estate investing or the real estate professional spectrum. It's just, it's because we're humans, and humans are a shoddy lot to begin with. What's going on, you guys? Matt McKeever here, and so I know a lot of you not only watch my YouTube channel, but you're also watching the YouTube channel of my buddies, Graham Stephan, as well as Meet Kevin. And so recently, Meet Kevin did a rather inflammatory series on wholesaling real estate. And now I know a lot of you know me recently as getting into wholesaling real estate, and I thought we should maybe clear up the air a little bit on this wholesaling real estate, because Kevin's first couple of videos really didn't paint us in that good of a picture. So let's dive into the details of why does Meet Kevin think that wholesaling's evil, or why does he think it's a scam, and why am I comfortable still doing wholesaling real estate despite the fact that Meet Kevin thinks it's a scam? Let's just get into it. I think the first thing we need to clear up is a difference in perspectives, and that major difference in perspectives is Meet Kevin's a realtor, and a lot of us real estate investors are not realtors. In fact, there's a reason a lot of investors like myself never become realtors. And the reason for that is realtors have a fiduciary duty to their clients. I don't want to have a fiduciary duty to a private seller because I want to be able to buy it at the best price possible so that I can profit from it. It's all about information asymmetry. And now a lot of people initially think that information asymmetry, that there's something inherently wrong about that. But if we start breaking down information asymmetry really into its base components, I think you'll see there's nothing evil about the convenience store selling you candy more expensive than a grocery store. Or there's nothing wrong with a car dealership charging more in one city than a car dealership in another city. It really comes down to the exact situation. Life is so nuanced, it's not black and white, guys. I wish it was black and white, but it's only shades of gray. And there's way more than 50 of them. I'm not going to bore you completely with all the details of what Meet Kevin talked about in his videos. You can just check out his videos. Actually, check out his channel in general regardless, because he's a fantastic guy, and I have no doubt that he has the best interests of his audience at heart. He really is only trying to help you guys. However, sometimes the clickbait, sometimes the idea of a juicy video, I think he gets caught up in that idea and he just chases it to the extreme. And I think that's the case here in the wholesaling video. What it really comes down to is he was viewing wholesaling simply through the lens of a realtor. And so in his most recent video on wholesaling, he really broke that out for us. And I think it really provided a lot of clarity that his audience needed. And so that clarity really consisted of the fact that, you know, there's three types of wholesalers in Meet Kevin's opinion. The first one is straight up just a wholesaler like I consider myself to be. That's someone that solves someone's complicated problems, makes a bit of money off of it, and sells it to another real estate investor who's going to further profit off of that information asymmetry. The second type of wholesaler is a realtor that's acting also as a wholesaler. And now that gets pretty shady, simply because of the fact that that wholesaler is also a realtor. They technically are supposed to have a fiduciary duty to the seller, and as a wholesaler it's very difficult because wholesalers are often not only focused on the seller, but they're also focused on the buyer and trying to align both their interests. And that's where I think a lot of people get into trouble as a realtor slash wholesaler. It's also the reason why when it comes to my wholesaling business that myself and Jeff Weibel have a firewall set up between my wholesaling business and Jeff Weibel the realtor, because yeah, it would be way too difficult for Jeff to both protect the fiduciary duty of the seller if he was a real estate agent and a wholesaler, as well as trying to provide the buyers, that's the private investors that are going to buy the wholesale deal, the opportunity or the best opportunity possible. It's way too nuanced, guys. And so that's why myself and Jeff Weibel personally have set up firewalls between our businesses. The problem is Meet Kevin was really just viewing it through that one lens, and that one lens he painted far too broad of a brush. And so Meet Kevin's actually really wrong when it comes to wholesaling. Now, his more recent videos have really pulled back a lot of the virtual towards wholesalers, because the thing is, wholesalers can provide a service. They can really help families. They really can help distressed sellers. I've personally seen it. I've personally done it myself. So, you know, maybe I'll break out a video and just talk with myself as well as other wholesalers, and we can share with you guys some of the amazing stories of how wholesalers have helped families. That being said, the wholesalers that go on and on about the idea that oh, you know, the money's nice, but I do this really because I help the families. No, that doesn't ring true to me. The reason we do this shit, the reason that we're in real estate is because it's profitable. If it wasn't profitable, we'd probably be doing FBA or something else, doing drop shipping, anything else. So I don't want to bullshit you guys and say that like wholesaling is the most wholesome thing in the world and that like I'm doing God's work, because I don't think there's a God. But secondly, because I just don't think that that's true, and I don't see the reason to blow smoke up your ass. It's the same reason that I don't think many realtors would continue being realtors if they weren't getting paid, particularly if they weren't getting paid well. They'd probably move on to another industry, and there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, we have an obligation to ourselves as much or more than we do to any other individual. And so I think the problem is a lot of people get hung up on this idea of information asymmetry. And the idea of information asymmetry simply is that I know something you don't, and I'm going to profit because I know that's something that you don't. I just don't see anything wrong with that. And I don't see anything wrong with wholesaling real estate, guys. Let's put it another way. Let's put it into perspective this way. So wholesaling real estate, the thing is, most of these private sellers, they have complicated situations. It's the reason that they're interested in selling privately. There may be a hoarder, there's maybe a messy estate fight, maybe it's going into probate. There could be a million different things going on here, but the thing is, it's probably complicated. It's probably not simple to solve. And so a lot of realtors are, again, just human beings, and as human beings, at best, we're average. And as average human beings, they're gonna look at a complicated seller and think, huh, I can earn my 2% or my 2.5% on this seller who's got a really complicated, messy situation, or I could just go get different sellers that have less messy, complicated situations, make the same 2.5%, and do way less work. And like a lot of human beings, they're going to choose the easier solution. I mean, I know I would, and it seems silly to expect anyone else to do that as well. So there's that. So first of all, this idea that I think some YouTubers like Meet Kevin paint realtors with too positive of a brush. Honestly, the vast majority of realtors I've met, in my opinion, are not competent. And in fact, a lot of realtors will even state to you that it's way too easy to become a realtor. I know Meet Kevin's mentioned that it's way too easy to become a realtor in California as well. It's just, there's a lot of realtors out there. And the moment you get a lot of anyone out there, there's going to become bad actors. And so yes, there's bad actors in wholesaling real estate, and there's bad actors that are realtors as well. I don't see any inherent reason that realtors are inherently better people than wholesalers. So at the end of the day, it feels like a coin toss, just like pretty much dealing with any human being is a coin toss, in my opinion. Again, just my opinion, guys. And so some realtors, some YouTubers would make you think that there's something inherently wrong with this idea of profiting off of information asymmetry. But I mean, like, every business does it. Does the convenience store across the street from the grocery store have a moral obligation or an ethical obligation to tell you that you could buy your candy cheaper at the grocery store across the street? No, it'd be ridiculous, and I would hate the judgment of them telling me every time I buy my box of Oreos that I could go buy them cheaper. I don't even want you talking about how I'm buying Oreos, because I buy too many of them, and I don't need your judgment on how many Oreos I eat. And I mean, regardless though, I think it's completely unfair to say that all wholesaling is bad. What's wrong with asking someone if they want to sell their house? And what's wrong with giving them the price they want while often solving complicated problems and situations? Sounds downright capitalistic to me. I mean, what would Meet Kevin have against being a capitalist? Wait, isn't he German? What part of East Germany? Oh my God, guys!
Hey, this guy's a commie! Commie, traitor to our country!
Yeah, this is all in good fun. Honestly, Meet Kevin's a fantastic individual. If you guys aren't familiar with his channel, you need to check him out. He's giving you amazing information for free. He's just another awesome person. Another person I'd like to consider part of the real estate rat pack that myself and Jeff Weibel are creating here in London, Ontario. So if you guys haven't checked out Kevin's channel, go over, jump onto his channel, comment, tell him Matt McKeever sent you. But tell him that his opinions on wholesaling is BS. All right, thanks guys for taking the time to watch this video. Until next time, remember, problems are profits. Making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point, guys? Thanks, bye! And so one more thing I think we need to clear up about this idea of wholesaling is, wholesalers aren't even always just dealing with private sellers who are in distressed situations that are selling their family home. Often they're dealing with real estate investors. I know I've paid a wholesaler 10% of the value of a property, or $30,000, simply because he bought a portfolio of properties, broke them up into their individual pieces, and then sold them off. There's a huge value add in him being willing to sell that portfolio of properties off and break it into smaller pieces. And so in this case, it was up to 10%, and that's what I was willing to pay him, simply because it created value from my perspective. So I don't even want you thinking that all wholesalers are out there taking advantage of distressed sellers. Sometimes wholesalers are simply dealing with sellers who just don't care. Money is not their biggest priority. And let me give you actually another example. And this example might actually it's probably going to surprise a lot of you. Some of you might even judge me for it. But recently I sold what used to be my principal residence to a flipper friend of mine. And now that flipper friend of mine, he's going to make money flipping the property I sold him. I'm a real estate investor, guys. Why wouldn't I just sell that property? Why wouldn't I just flip that property rather than sell it? It's because I think I got better things to do with my time. I'd rather make more videos and communicate with you guys. I'd rather have this relationship that we're building right now. Personally, myself, I would rather focus on doing bigger, better things. In my opinion, that's things like OREC. That's things like creating a real estate conference where there was never a real estate conference before. That to me is far more satisfying than making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a 2-month flip. Now, there's nothing wrong with that guy that wants to go out and make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in 2 months on that flip. It's just, it's no longer for me. My priorities have changed, my perspective has changed, and so I'm not going to do it because it's an unscalable action from my perspective. It's a profitable action, but it's just not that scalable. And these days, I really want to scale my time because I'm starting to realize it's the scarcest thing I got. So that's that.